word to wise. Grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple light.
Before we get started, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click, click. What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blurb Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. DC Comics, they have so much stuff just going on. They have story arcs just going on left and right in, just the grand scheme of everything they have going on, planned for Year of the Villain. And man, there's so much stuff to cover, and I'm gonna get to all that stuff eventually, but the thing I want to talk about today, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this video finds you, I want to talk about the new Secret Six. That's right, the Batman Who Laughs, TBWL, or BWL if you like to leave the off. Either way, he has a new Secret Six. We've been following, if you've been keeping up with my Batman Who Laughs videos, you'll probably know that the Batman Who Laughs has been putting together this crazy scheme. He's been dragging Bruce Waynes from the dark multiverse, killing them and using their blood, their DNA, to create these canisters that our Batman has pretty much assumed he's going to use to poison Gotham's water supply and turn all of Gotham citizens into Batman Who Laughs versions, of themselves, the darkest, worst possible versions of themselves. And that did actually seem like the plan at first, until it wasn't. You see, now that we've gotten new information about the new Batman Superman series that's going to be coming out, kind of a new world's finest, that Joshua Williamson, a guy who's been pinning Flash since DC Rebirth began, Joshua Williamson and David Marquez are going to be taking over this book, and it's going to be a really interesting run. But the thing that kind of crept up on me when we found out about this book, that we found out was going to be coming out back in the end of April, was that he was going to have a Secret Six. He was going to bring back the Secret Six, his own army. When he came to the Positive Matter universe with his Dark Knights of the multiverse, he brought actual Batmen from the Dark Multiverse to Earth Prime to wage war against the Justice League and to destroy the Positive Matter universe. But the trick with that is, that time, he brought people from the Dark Multiverse. This time, he's creating his army from scratch. I know I've been doing a lot of setup for this, but basically in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 10 candidates, the people I think are the most likely to be a part of the Batman Who Laughs new Secret Six. And I'm not saying these are definitive picks. I'm not saying this is exactly who it's gonna be. I'm just telling you who I think it's gonna be. And in the comments, you can let me know how wrong I am or how right I am, or you can tell me your ideas. But here are some things we need to understand. Those 6 canisters that the Batman Who Laughs has been putting together, I don't think those canisters are for Gotham's water supply. I think he's going to use those to infect his new Secret Six. Now, one of the things Joshua Williamson has gone on record as saying is that these people, the new Secret Six, they are people who either A, have already been turned and they know it, or they're people who have been turned and don't know it. That they are becoming the darkest and most evil and vile versions of themselves, and they just don't realize it. Kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario. The version that we know is not aware of what the darker version of themselves is doing. And now, whether that's actually affecting how they do business, how they act on a day-to-day basis, we don't know. Now, another caveat we gotta put on this is that Joshua Williamson has gone on record as to saying that it's not all superheroes. I mean, there are gonna be people who are the good guys, but the pool of people that could possibly be infected includes people who don't have superpowers, people who are normal, people who are supporting characters in other heroes' stories. So let's go ahead and talk about the 10 characters who are the most likely to be a part of the new Secret Six. I'll go ahead and say right now, my first pick, Donna Troy. Donna Troy is very easily one of the Secret Six. Donna Troy has been through the ringer. She has gone from being one of the stalwart teen titans, moving up and graduating to the Titans, even becoming a potential bad guy for the Titans. And we all know about her potential dark future that she's been trying to avoid, and something that led to the Justice League benching her and pretty much putting her on the sideline. Now, we all know that Donna Troy has been fighting to try not to become the thing that, she is fated to become, but maybe in trying to do so, maybe she's creating a whole other problem. And this is territory that's perfectly ripe for the Batman Who Laughs to come in with one of those 6 canisters and call it a day. Another character that was on that list that I found really interesting, because this is yet another character who's been kind of going through some ish, and that's Green Arrow. Now, I'm gonna go into right now, I know Green Arrow is not the most popular comic right now, and I know it did just end not too long ago, after I think 50 issues, but I was reading that comic since DC Rebirth began, and I really liked it. It was really good. I think it was one of those comics that just kind of flew under the radar. People just weren't paying it any attention. It was a great story, and we got to see the rise and fall of Oliver Queen the way it always should be. He was on the struggle bus, and not only that, the reason why I think he's even more of a prime target is because Martian Manhunter, towards the end of the No Justice story arc, gave the Green Arrow a weapon to be used against the Justice League should any one of them turn rogue or the Justice League as a whole goes bad. And this is very reminiscent of like the Tower of Babel, that whole situation with Batman. And even in the New 52, they kind of rehashed that, where Batman was kind of doomsday prepping for the Justice League should the day come that they turn evil, and now we had Martian Manhunter doing the same thing. This actually kind of makes sense. The Batman who laughs knows Batman better than anybody else, and he also knows how the Justice League functions. He would have seen this coming. Even though it's not Batman who made the call, it was Martian Manhunter, but he just knows so much about this universe. He knows how to see what people's desires are. Why not recruit the guy who has the weapon that could take out the Justice League? My next pick is James Gordon Jr. You see, they actually have James Gordon on this list, and I know that some people are probably thinking, oh no, not Jim. Jim wouldn't turn bad. Well, actually, not talking about James Gordon. I'm talking about his son, James Gordon Jr., who we've seen brought back into the limelight as of the Batman Who Laughs. I think it was like number 2 or 3 where he popped back in. And we also know, thanks to some recent issues of Batgirl, I want to say it was, oh man, Batgirl, God, 66, something like that. I don't remember exactly. I don't have it directly in front of me, but we know that Batgirl has also been dealing with James Gordon Jr., her wayward, murderous brother. And we also find out at the end of that issue, the Batman Who Laughs is haunting him. So, I mean, that's kind of an easy pick right there. My next pick, and this is going to be a controversial one because I know a lot of people think that a Green Lantern is very likely to be on this list, and I would not be surprised if a Green Lantern became a member of the Secret Six, the new Secret Six, but I don't think it's going to be Hal Jordan. I think it's going to be Kyle Rayner. And I know a lot of people are going to get upset about that because, you know, people, we talk about, stuff that was going on in Heroes of Crisis. People were really in their feelings about Heroes in Crisis. People still are in their feelings about Heroes in Crisis, and I totally get it, but here's the thing. Kyle Rayner's actually been through the ringer too. If you read Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, you would see that, man, Kyle has been through some ish as well. But we also got to go back and remember what happened during Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, where Kyle Rayner killed Sarko, who was his son from in the future, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering that story arc correctly, which led directly to his falling out with Soranik, his on-again, off-again girlfriend, who was supposed to be the mother of said future baby. This led to some crazy stuff going on with him, and I don't think he just walked that down. So, I mean, yeah, I think that he would be a very likely candidate, and let's also be fair, DC hates their legacy characters, so turning one of them evil kind of tracks. Even though I'm perfectly okay with that. I don't give a shit about any of that. Character growth as far as I'm concerned. Next pick is Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne is kind of an odd duck. I kind of feel like Damian Wayne has been going through some things too. He's been kind of betraying the trust of his allies on the Teen Titans, and he's always been so back and forward. Now that you could just say is, yeah, that's just personality issues. But one thing you gotta remember is that the Batman Who Laughs had a Damian Wayne from his universe who he had turned into one of his attack Robins, albeit one with a little more agency than the other one. So it would make sense if he turned Batman's Damian into yet again another one of those attack Robins. It makes sense, totally tracks. I could easily see that happening and would be perfectly fine with that being a thing. It would make complete and total sense. Next up on the list is Dick, or now as he goes by, Rick Grayson. You see, Nightwing is also another character who's been through the ringer. He was nearly assassinated by the KG Beast, and in the aftermath of that, he changed his identity and has kind of gotten away from being a part of Batman's family. So, I mean, they were gonna get somebody that's on the outskirts, someone that's, you know, kind of outside of Batman's shadow, you know, kind of, you know, we'll throw back to Batman Long Shadows. I could easily see a character like Dick or Rick Grayson being that guy, someone who knows Batman better than anybody, you know, other than the Batman Who Laughs. And the Batman Who Laughs likes turning people that are close to Batman, so I wouldn't be surprised if most of the characters that are a part of the new Secret Six are characters that are in Batman's orbit. Another character I think that is probably going to wind up being a part of the Secret Six, and this is a character that was one of the main ones that people have been kind of talking about when I was reading articles from like Bleeding Cool and some other areas. I would not be surprised if Perry White was on that list. Though I'm going to kind of cheat here a little bit. I'm actually going to kind of double this one up. I kind of feel like, because it's one of those things, I kind of wrestled with this on this list. I was like, Perry White or Jimmy Olsen? Perry White or Jimmy Olsen? And honestly, I feel like the Batman Who Laughs would want somebody who had some kind of an influence, someone who can actually help him. And then that's when the more I thought about it, the more I realized maybe it's Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen and Superman have this very deep connection. It would just, turning a character like Jimmy Olsen would just hurt more. You know, to Superman, I wouldn't personally care. I've never really been a big Jimmy Olsen fan, so. This next character I think is going to kind of turn some heads a little bit. I personally would not be surprised if my man's John Constantine turned out to be a part of the new Secret Six. Now, I mean, he is on the short list of characters that they say are, you know, the most likely to be a part of the new Secret Six. Now, it was a long list. The list had roughly 20 plus characters on it, so it wouldn't surprise me if, I don't think you just throw John Constantine on there willy-nilly. And I mean, technically, him and Batman even have a connection, and even more importantly, I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea for the Batman Who Laughs to have someone with a little bit of magic fingers on their side. I mean, you gotta think about it. When he put together his army of Dark Knights of the Dark Multiverse, all of them specialized in something, and doesn't get more specialized than John Constantine. And not to mention, John Constantine's one of those characters, he already kind of floats in a weird moral gray area, so seeing a character like that fully turn over, like I've always wanted to have that, like see those moments like where John Constantine just goes full on asshole. Next character is gonna be Catwoman. Now, Catwoman, I think, is a very interesting choice because, once again, you gotta go back to the things that hurt more. It would hurt more if it were, in fact, Catwoman that was turned over to the new Secret Six. And not only that, but I mean, Catwoman has been very integral in Tom King's Batman run. Even though I know Tom King's not writing the Batman-Superman run, it's gonna be Joshua Williamson who normally writes The Flash. But that being said, I can't help but feel a character like Catwoman being a part of the new Secret Six, that's a character who has a lot of potential to be the Mockingbird of the new Secret Six, because we all know that the Secret Six always has like a Mockingbird character, a Mockingbird persona who's kind of like the head of the snake, if you will. But I could easily see Catwoman being that character, you know, kind of being that stand-in for a Mockingbird style character. However, the characters who usually take that moniker aren't always the most badass fighters or, you know, the most physically capable. In the past, it's been characters like Lex Luthor and Amanda Waller, which would lead me to my next character who I think, in light of some things that have happened in, you know, recent Batman titles, I would not be surprised if it were Alfred. Once again, the characters who are going to be part of the new Secret Six, they don't have to be all supers. They don't all have to be members of the Justice League. Joshua Williamson has said that they will be characters who come from not just the main cast, but the supporting cast as well, people who aren't superpowered. So this makes perfect and total sense. And here's the thing I kind of want you to think about with this. What kind of drives the reasoning behind a lot of my picks? Who knows Batman better than Batman other than the Batman Who Laughs? It would be Alfred. Alfred knows him inside and out. Also, Alfred will be able to manipulate him the most. Alfred is also the closest to Batman. One of the things you'll probably notice when I did this list, I put together a lot of different characters that are characters who are more in the orbit of Batman and Superman, because yes, that would hurt more. That would be the thing that would trigger Superman and Batman more easily. It would be characters that they know personally. And we all know how much of a master manipulator the Batman Who Laughs is. That's what he does. He likes to manipulate people. He likes to dig the knife in. It's the very same reason why he gave the attack Robins that the Grim Knight has, he gave him versions of James Gordon Jr.'s from other Earths so that he could turn them into attack Robins and use them against James Gordon. That is a level of petty that would border on masterful. But anyways, feel free to let me know how right or wrong you think I am. Even let me know what your picks are. Sound off in the comments. So hey, you made it to the end of the video. Awesome for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, I don't see how you didn't, do me a favor. Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. And tap that bell so you know when I post up. Also, feel free to go check out my Patreon, where if you chuck in a buck, you can get early access to most of my videos up to a week early. And if you have time, make sure you swing by nerd901.com, where you can find more of my content as well as other amazing stuff. Anyways, until next time, I love you 3000 plus ultra!